Hey everybody, so here I am. I'm back for a part two series referring to my latest video. I was talking and sharing with you about my desire at one a few weeks ago to know exactly what to do as I was about to pray and wanted to know what to pray for. And the Holy Spirit took me to that encounter, that account of a man called Saul. And he met his maker, and the two questions that he had was, "Who are you?" And then the second question was, "Now, what do you want me to do?" And I basically centered on the fact that when a person, when a man, a woman, myself, when you meet with your maker, you cannot meet with your maker without knowing, having an encounter with yourself. And we centered on this last time. And the focus was the desire and the need that we all have to be whole, right? And when we are whole, then we can fulfill what we're supposed to do um, in a being whole. Okay, so well, this time today, what we're gonna do is focus more on the what to do, and because we all want to feel and be powerful, we want to be in control, and well, here's the first thought that I had, and it is a pretty humbling thought, and none of us have thought that we would be here. We never decided to be here, and it's important to let it sink in because some of us are pretty self-reliant. Some of us are arrogant. Some will admittedly say that they are just jerks, and but even if you are haughty, even if you're sure of yourself, um, you did not even make the decision. I did not even make the decision to be here. This was out of my control, out of your control. Yet we want to be in control. We want to feel powerful. We want to accomplish what we feel that we're supposed to accomplish on this earth. And how can we do that? And well, another thought is, for example, we can't do that without meeting with our maker. That's what I was saying last time. Thinking about a painting, for example, this is what I was about to say. A painting cannot be sketched, cannot be painted without a painter. Therefore, knowing who we are and knowing what we can do, knowing our power, cannot be achieved, cannot be attained without having an encounter with our Maker. And well, here's the example that I'm thinking of is that man he has a son, and his son is afflicted with demons. His son is sick, and well, he loves his son, and yet he's helpless. He feels helpless. So, regardless of who you are, even myself, we again um, may think that we are all good, that we are strong. But there are those moments in life where we are like, we're backed in a corner, pushed against the wall, and our reflex is, "Oh God, is there a God out there?" So we're not all powerful, yet we want to be able to control our lives. We want to be able to do what we feel in our heart that we are supposed to do on earth, right? So here's here's what this man whose son was sick. Here's what Jesus interestingly told him. Jesus said, well, let me back up. The man who was frazzled, we can imagine, said to Jesus, "Can you do something?" And Jesus' response was, all things are possible to those who believe. And essentially, all things are possible. Anything is possible to you if you believe in me. So, in other words, for all of us who want to do something, that we want to pursue what we feel is in our heart, Jesus is saying that, well, it is possible if you believe in me. Yet, I cannot believe in somebody that I don't know. I cannot trust somebody that I don't know. And therefore, uh, all things are not possible. Not everything is possible if I don't know Him. But He says that if I know Him, if I believe in Him, then all things are possible. So today, remember, we are centering around what our purpose is, what we want to do in life, feeling in control. And feeling in control, feeling powerful, then traces, if we want to trace it back to the source, Jesus is saying, if you believe in me, then all things are possible. If you believe in God, all things are possible. For example, a young man, a Hebrew man, said to a king what was going to happen in the future. His name was Daniel. What was going to happen in his future. And he made an interesting statement that in the course of time, that his own nation would be harassed by another nation. Some would fall um, being deceived. But he said that those who believed, those who knew their God, would take action. Those who knew their God would make great exploits. So again, that young man linked mankind's ability to do great things to knowing God. Those who know their God will do great things. Another man, again, going back to Saul, Saul was saying that he wanted to know Jesus and the power of his resurrection. Knowing Jesus and the power of his resurrection. Knowing him and knowing the power. You cannot know God and not share with him everything that God himself has. Lastly, another thought that comes to mind is when praying, he says that he hopes that the eyes of our understanding being enlightened, that we may see that there is a hope. There is a hope for us who are called by God. There is a hope. And then later on he says that we may know the greatness of his power toward us who believe. So if we believe in him because we know him, right? Then we will know the power that is directed toward us. So again, going back to the beginning, the whole point, part 2 here. The whole point is, because part 1 was, if I know him, I'm going to know myself. And I'm going to be okay with myself. And I'm going to feel whole. I'm not going to be tempted to please other people, to cave in to the demands, the whims of other people. And today we're talking about, okay, if I'm whole, then how am I going to set out to do what I want to do? And I want to feel that I'm going to be courageous. And Daniel says, listen, if you know him, if you know your God, you're going to do great things. And Paul says, Saul became Paul, and Paul said, listen, if you know him, you will know that there is a hope for your life. But it is not enough to know that there is a hope for your life if you cannot reach that hope, that expected end. So if you know your life, if you can see it, what you want to do in life, then just know that God is not just going to place something in front of you that you can see, a vision, a hope for you, without backing you up with power. So the fact that we want to be great is not something, is not innate as if coming from us. It comes from Him. So it is a reassuring feeling to know that what we want to do, He wants us to do it. And He will back us up with His power to fulfill our mission that we feel we have on our lives, right? Okay, so that's
Thank you for that. Thank you for part 2.
well, you're welcome. God is good, and here's what I will add: we cannot dissociate power from the one who is all powerful. This is why, again, we want to know Him. If we want to be powerful, then we should associate ourselves with the one who is all powerful. We cannot talk, for example, about uh, a, a painting from Picasso without talking about Picasso. Wouldn't make sense, right? So it's the same applies to us. If we want to be powerful, if we want to do something with our lives, if we want to be in control, then we cannot talk about ourselves without talking about Him. And in this life, especially in this nation, this great nation, people, we hear about, you guys Americans, you think big, and you do great things. You do big, you think big, and there are many books out there of self improvement. We think great. We want to make America great. So we have that understanding that we should be great. We want to be great. The problem sometimes or oftentimes is that we don't have the know how. We just don't know how to be great. And, we want to do things and we want to be in control, and yet we run on empty oftentimes. For a mom, a mom who just gave birth, she has everything. She's wired. She's designed with everything to be a good mom, to feed her baby. She has everything. Yet, oftentimes, a mom is gonna feel what? She's gonna feel depleted. She wants to be in control. She wants to be powerful. She's gonna feel depleted. A man wants to be a great man. He wants to be he wants to be a great husband, and but he's going to go out for 8 hours, 9, 10, 11 hours, and comes home and he has nothing to give out. He runs on empty, and yet we want to feel powerful. And so what's the reaction that some of us, that sometimes we have, is we're like, hey, you know what, everybody back off. Right, back off. I have nothing to give. I feel depleted. I feel empty, and I just want to be alone. Sometimes that's how we feel. We want to be alone. But here's what's interesting: is that we can never be alone. And we're talking about, again, what we want to do in life, being in control. And sometimes we're like, you know what, you guys leave me alone. I give, and people will just leave without saying even thank yous. Some people will just drop you like a hot potato, and so sometimes, like, you know what, leave me alone. But when we say leave me alone, can we actually be alone? Oftentimes what happens when we want to be alone is because we want to just be able to hear. We just want to be able to be with ourselves. I don't want to give anything. I cannot give anything. We just want to be with ourselves. But here's the thing, is that really, if you want to be alone, being alone means that you're going to be with God. because it is impossible to be alone. You know, there's a man, his name is David. He said, listen, if I ascend to heaven, you are there. If I put my bed in Hades, excuse me, in Hades, in Sheol, in hell, you are there. You know, if I'm gonna ride on the morning wings and go to the end of the oceans, you are there, and your hand sustains me, upholds me. So we can never be alone, but being alone means that we are actually with our Maker. We are actually with our Maker. When we feel that we have nothing left to give, yet we want to give, we want to feel that we're strong, we want to feel that we're in control, that we can do something, that, you know what, if I'm here on earth, there's a purpose for my life. If I'm here on earth, I have a vision, I have a dream, I have an idea. I want to be able to do what I see in my head, what I see in my heart. But you know what? I've tried and I feel tired. Leave me alone, everybody. Well, you know what? It is a good thing. But just know, and even talking to myself, that when we are alone, what happens is that we actually find ourselves without noise, you know, because that's what happens. Leave me alone, no noise, and just like that one song says, away, away from the noise, alone with you. So being away from the noise really is not to just be with myself. And I understand that sometimes leave me alone may mean, you know what, I'm just going to watch movies, and I'm just going to eat, and I'm just going to get with my best friend, whatever. But really, the reality is that when we say, I want to be alone, is because we cannot give anymore. But what's our fuel? What's our fuel? That man discovered, that man called Paul, that he can never, even though he may want to be alone, away from people, away from circumstances, he can never be away from his Maker. No matter where I go, here you are. Even if I want to go way over there alone, here you are. And here's the interesting thing, is that he discovered that even when I want to go away, maybe even away from you, he didn't say, well, and I find you and you're mad at me because I want to be away from you. No, he said, even if I ride on the wings of the morning and I go all the way to the ends of the ocean, here you are, your hand sustains me. The goodness of God, because God, our Father, for those of you who believes in him, even when we want to go away, leave away from everybody, even away from him, his hand doesn't slap us to say like, hey, come back here and go get back at it. No, his hand even then upholds us. His hand even then supports us. Well, lastly, have you not known? Have you not heard? This is what a man called Isaiah, a prophet, this is what he said. Have you not known? Have you not heard? The everlasting God, the Lord, he never faints. He never gets weary. We do, but he never does. And he says he gives power to the weak, and those who are without strength, well, he increases strength. Those who are without might. That's God. That's our God. that even when we feel depleted, we know that we're supposed to do what we're supposed to do. We may not know how, right? But even when we want to get away, He's there, His hand upholds us, supports us. We have a vision for ourselves. We have a dream. And it's nice to know that it's not that I have a dream, but I cannot make it happen. It is nice to know, as Paul said, that He even directs His power toward us who believe in Him, who know Him. So He doesn't get weary. He doesn't faint. The young man will be tired. The young man will even fall. That's what's interesting, is that Isaiah the prophet said, even the young man will fall. So the young man can be strong. Hey, I'm young, I'm strong. But he said, even the young man, sometimes you go after your dream. I go after my dream, and it seems like it's a long journey. Not a long journey. A long journey. You know, with a bunch of hurdles and hurdles and hurdles and hurdles after hurdles. And it feels like you're the only one who believes in your dream. So Isaiah, that prophet, says, hey, you know what? Even young men, they fall. They will fall on the way there. But you know what? Those who wait on the Lord, those who stay focused on Him, He will renew their strength. Yeah, He will renew their strength. And, we will be able to soar with wings like eagles, right? And do what we are supposed to do. So I think that's there's not going to be, I don't know, a 3-part series. I think it's a 2-part series, who knows. But I address the 2 points. When you ask the question, what should I pray for? What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? If you don't know what to do with your life, the answer is know your Maker. Because if you're on this earth, you did not even plan on being here, right? You didn't even plan on being here. So let's just eat some, some, how do you say that again? Some humble, humble pie. Yeah, let's just eat some humble pie. You didn't even decide to be here. So it's not like you know it all. You can control everything and all that stuff. So yeah. Then you have to look at your Maker. You have to say, hey, listen. If you look at a painting, there is a painter. I look at myself and I have a dream. I have a vision, and it was put in there. So that's why the Holy Spirit said, know Him and you will know yourself. And know Him and then you will know what to do. And not just what to do, He will give you the power to do it. Sometimes, you know what? You will get tired. Sometimes, you know what? You will fall. Sometimes, you know what? You will say, everybody, leave me alone. I need to be alone. But you know what? Even then, you're not going to be alone as much as you would like to. And even then, in those moments that you may even cry, His hand will be there. And his head is not. His head is not going to slap you to say, hey, come on. His head will support you. His head will uphold you. His head is going to push you forward because his head is not going to judge you. So, hey, who are you? What do you want me to do? Know him. He will act as a mirror. He's going to show you how great you are. And then you will know clearly what to do. Well, that's it. Man, that's it. And yeah, you're welcome. And, until next time.